This is the final stage of the repair of the SSL Nucleus. Here we see that all the two fader cards are replaced, and in further videos I explain how they are refurbished. So these cards are totally refurbished and ready for use. So this will be the end stage. I bought this Nucleus defective. It was broken from a customer, and the 15 volt regulator was missing. This power supply was totally missing, an open spot. Also the connection cable. So I ordered this power supply at RS Components and made my own connection cable. Then I had this power supply was present but was broken, so I have repaired this power supply. And this is the benefit if you are a little bit experienced in electronics. Then you are able to repair these kinds of power supplies, DC-DC converters. If you are interested in how it is done, I can explain, but this takes a little bit more effort and experience, and also equipment to do this. So if you are not familiar with repairing power supply, please do not, because it can be very dangerous if you are not knowing what you are doing. Then from this power supply there was one power 15 volts that is not using, and I use this power supply for feeding my fan controller. Via this silicon tube. There's a little red and black wire in this silicon tube. This is only for protecting this cable. And on the back side of this fan bracket there's the power regulator 7812 insulated, mounted on this bracket, so it has directly a cooling heatsink. This regulator, fan regulator for 3 fans, you can order it on eBay, and it has the possibility for a 50K NTC that is positioned on the spot from the power supply. And one fan, this one is a 50 millimeter fan. You can also use a 60 millimeter fan. I made also a bracket for it, but afterwards I had also a 50 millimeters, and you can make a better angle from this bracket, because 60 millimeters will be a flatter angle. So I use a 50 millimeters, but it is possible to use a 60 millimeter fan. And one fan is via this cable and these slots with a little bit hot glue goes to underneath this board. And I explained in a previous video how to mount it. So that is in totally my new refurbished Nucleus, and we will go to startup now, and we'll see what it will do. Now to start up, the final moment. Very interesting what it will do. Yes, the fan is nice. LED is shining red. Also a funny fact, if the fan is broken and it stops, there's a little buzzer on this controller. We will demonstrate. So I block the, and it will give an alarm. So it's very nice if you know that your fans are blocked or broken. It will indicate an alarm. So that's for this moment, and I will demonstrate the power on the other side. So I will flip this machine, and oh, there's one thing extra. Because I repaired this power supply, I made an extra temperature sensor on the power capacitor on this power supply, and that will be this 400 volt capacitor. I have glued an extra measuring NTC on it, and therefore I can via this wire measure what the temperature is of this capacitor, because this capacitor is very important for this power supply. In fact, it is the most important component, because after a few years these capacitors will become bad and will break down. And also on this, you see on this, now we will power up. Booting, and then final show. Very nice. You see, if you are refurbishing these boards and do it in a proper way, there is no surprise at the end. And I have very experienced about electronics repairs, that if you are doing it in a proper way, you get really good results every time again. So for me, it's not a surprise. So I have to mount these caps again. I have polished them, very shiny now. And I have missing one blue cap and a red cap. It's very sad. I cannot order them by single caps. That is really a shame. So I've ordered them by a count of 10 or 100. And for me it's not really interesting to order these amounts for one missing cap. So I leave them, and maybe I do some hot glue in the red color or hot glue in the blue color. And we will leave it in this way. Once again we will start up, this time with the caps mounted on it. So these metal caps, do not replace them by other caps, because they are metallized and they are very important, because they have to make contact for your finger to know where your position is. So the metal is really important for conducting. these caps. Power on. Booting up. There we are. Very nice. You also mentioned that the fan is turning at 20% and is hardly, you can hardly hear it. So there is one and here's one. There's just a light humming, but in a quiet studio it will be not very important issue. So if it become hot, it will increase the fan speed. You can adapt it, and if it's really too loudy, we will adapt it in some way or the other. But I think it will not be an issue. If there is any air flowing in the machine, that will not really not heat up this power supply, because without a fan it is not cooling enough. So I would mention to SSL to make an adaptation for this machine. A little bit airflow in your machine will be the difference, because you have to rely on these machines. They have to be very reliable, and if they are break down during your edit, it will be really a shame. So rather a little bit fan noise and running all the time than totally quiet and leaving your project in random at. So there we are, end of this project. I will mount back the panel underneath and this side bracket, and then my mixer is finished. Thank you for watching. Till the next time.